for us, like we will observe like very closely and be with our customers like as close as possible to just like create new products to help them succeed and in hitting their marketing goals, their growth goals.
Welcome to Apptivate, the mobile marketing podcast brought to you by the app retargeting experts at Remerge. Listen to what's working in mobile marketing today from the people who are doing it now.
Hey everyone, I'm Patrick Eichmann and welcome back to the Apptivate Podcast. Before we dive in today, I have some exciting news for all of our listeners. So as we go into the 2026 season of our episodes, we're excited to announce that in addition to having the podcast made available via audio format, we're actually going to start broadcasting and publishing the podcast via video. So in addition to all the channels that you used to listen to the podcast before, the video content now will be made available via Spotify and YouTube. So if video is a better format for you for listening, definitely check it out, subscribe, tell a friend, etc. We'd really appreciate it. So today for our first podcast, I'm really excited to share that I'm speaking with our CEO, co-founder of Remerge, Pan Katsukis. And Pan and I spent a lot of time talking today about the evolution of mobile marketing, the industry, etc. A little bit about the origin story behind Remerge, which I think is like very cool, fascinating. And then where Pan sees the business, our business, Remerge rather, business going forward over the next like 5 to 10 years. I love talking to Pan, like on and off the record, super fascinating guy. And I think everyone will enjoy the recording as well. Enjoy. So welcome to the Apptivate Podcast. And today I have a really special guest, my boss and founder of Remerge, Pan Katsukis. Pan, welcome to the show.
Hello, hi. Thanks for having the honor to do this for the first time now in video, live and in color. So thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. We were chatting just before hitting recording and before recording, and learned a little bit about your day that you just got back to Berlin from San Francisco, or to Germany rather, from San Francisco. So we'll take it easy on you. For today's podcast and conversation, Pan, what I thought would be really fun to do for our listeners was to talk a little bit about the origin story of Remerge. But before we get to that, can you tell us a little bit about your background before Remerge? And we could probably kind of organically segue from there.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's all kind of connected, right? My background has been in mobile actually since I started thinking. I was actually born in Greece and grew up in Germany. So my parents got to Germany actually right away. Then I studied in Munich. Computer media science, and since then, actually, my path was all about mobile and mobile advertising, mobile content. Back then, I started in the industry 2004, so actually quite some time ago. Back then, like there was not much going on, right? There were no smartphones, so it was more mobile content with wallpapers for all those feature phones. And then actually in 2008, I co-founded the first company, which was then more really mobile advertising specific, where we created like the first mobile ad network in Germany. And that was just like when the iPhone came out, the App Store started. There was no Android, and that is actually where I got the experience in the whole mobile ad tech space. Luckily, the whole business just evolved really quickly, and now like everybody outside is using smartphones for a lot of their daily activities, and just like being there from the beginning helped me and then also just like form Remerge, that's what we then like based on the learnings that we collected. And then thinking about the phase we were in 2014, we created Remerge to just like tackle then ultimately the remarketing part for app marketers, which was back then not possible in a scalable way. So we fixed that with just like getting all the technical capabilities all together and creating a platform that makes it easy and smooth for all app marketers. So that was kind of like the quick rundown
Yeah.
of the idea about it.
Yeah. And so, and that's great. And so the business was founded in Berlin, correct? What was
Correct. Yes.
the
Yeah.
startup scene looking like back then in Berlin?
Yeah, so also the first startup was 2008 in Berlin. Berlin was actually up and coming back then. There was a lot of artistic scene in Berlin. I think that nowadays it's like still very famous for its scene. But back then you didn't have like any other, I think like corporate company environment like you have with other big cities. It was very, very alternative. It was very uprising. It was very very hip, very cultural. There were only politicians, there were only artists, and then startups came, right? So that was just like in this environment. 2008 also, like if you remember, not the best time to found a company when it was in the midst of the financial crisis. So that was also like made it tough in terms of raising capital and creating like something. But on the other hand, also Berlin was relatively cheap in that sense that cost of living was cheap. You could have nice offices with not much money. Everybody wanted to come to get to Berlin, so also talent was there, especially like a lot of international talent that came from all over the world to just like experience Berlin. Yeah, that helped just like getting a lot of traction during that time in that field. And then you had like also the first like really big successful companies with Delivery Hero that were doing that like globally. You had Zalando starting, that became like a really big hit. Also in Berlin, and just like all the talents around that ecosystem, just like spread around, and then more and more companies arise from that, and a lot of them like actually in marketing. So marketing was always like a big element of it, and I think that helped also just like driving that force. And as everything globally became more mobile, that's also what helped I think us to just like ramp up very quickly.
Yeah, it sounds like just hearing that experience, like it was like kind of this unique melting pot that brought in a lot of talent to the city itself, and you benefited from that, obviously, which is pretty cool to hear. In the States, it's a little bit different. Like a lot of the town is, for the most part, isolated out in Silicon Valley, and you have that high concentration. And so it sounds like something very similar here during this period of time is that there was a lot of talent and tech being built into Berlin, and you were able to really take advantage of all that, the human capital aspect of it and experience, which is pretty cool. I do want to talk about Remerge itself specifically, but before doing that, obviously we've been in this space for a long period of time, and I wanted to start off by asking a few questions just about the industry itself. So I mentioned before, you just got off a plane from San Francisco. Talk to us and talk to the audience a little bit about what you see as being some of the biggest developments in mobile ad tech today. And then from there, I think we're going to dive into a couple of other areas.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there has been a lot of evolution and a lot of different challenges that have developed over time. I think like how it started, and that was just like, okay, with my previous company, with my first company, it was actually not even able to measure installs or so, right? So you just like were running ads and then see maybe something that there was an effect in the app store and maybe something is happening with your app also, right? But this whole technological layer around it just got more and more sophisticated, right? You had like mobile measurement partners like Adjust and AppsFire, that were coming up, and that made it possible to get like more transparency in the industry. And then like techniques like user acquisition became, I think, like one of the biggest trends back then. I still remember when it was like so unique that there was a title like user acquisition manager, which was like completely new, not available anywhere before. Even though you had like advertising already, since so much like digital advertising in general, but user acquisition became a mobile specific topic. Yeah. And that was actually the phase when we were looking at Remerge, where we said, okay, good, user acquisition is one thing, getting installs, getting user for the first time, but then like going more down the funnel and driving them to do conversions, driving revenue, registrations, right? So any post-install events. That's exactly what also kept evolving after you were good at top of funnel with new installs, to just like get also down the funnel with different marketing techniques. Yeah, and retargeting has been like at least like in the website for e-commerce, like that classic way, and adopting it, transferring it also for the app ecosystem, was just like another option then for the marketers to just like do be a little bit more tactical and hitting their strategic goals with with their existing user base. And this one, I think, they also has evolved. And I also remember like when we started and when we raised like our first round to enter then in cities like San Francisco and cover the customers over there. When we're talking with VCs, they were also saying like, okay, how big is actually the market with app retargeting? And back then you couldn't actually say, because it was non-existent. Yeah, it just like was growing so much and so rapidly, and the whole app ecosystem was so new that you could just like say, well, look at the the web desktop market, and see that you have big players like Criteo or so. So retargeting, there is a need that you also need it like in mobile. And I think like right now it became like a standard staple for a lot of verticals all over the world, that app retargeting just is a normal part of the mix. And specifically when just like fine tuning and getting more profitability for all their setups for marketing, and just like to combine it together with user acquisition, that has just become bigger and bigger and also more sophisticated. I think like one of the big things that also everybody is aware of is with Apple and the privacy changes with ATT in 2020, 2021, when they launched it, that there was like a big shift in the whole industry about like how transparency is being done, how transparent is actually app marketing, even user acquisition was like a bit tricky to do. But even that one is just like evolving much more, that with the experience, better technology, even AI and so on, just can help to not be completely blind when running ads, but to just be effective enough so that even with more more strict privacy regulations, that the results can still be as good as they used to be maybe 5 years ago. So it's a constant development. A lot of R&D goes into that with all the infrastructure. A lot of players working really closely together, from the MMPs, what I said, to CRM systems, the customers directly, also with the data availability they have. And just like create more robust and more performant products throughout that phase. And I think it's still continuing. Just like when you look high level, more and more users will use mobile phones to do their purchases, to spend time, to engage, and it gets also more easy for them, just like to be able to spend money, to do with Apple Pay and with the wallet system. So it's so directly integrated that it's even more convenient to do something, to book something or buy something on the smartphone rather than on a desktop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always talk about the phone as being like the remote control of your life. You could just really do anything and everything from it. From ordering food, airline tickets, whatever it may be. And so, it's interesting to hear a little bit about like how you've seen the evolution and bringing this up to like the current date. Where do you think the industry is going in the next 5 years? Like prediction
Yeah,
wise,
I think
what do you
like
think will
you can,
happen?
yeah, you can draw the line exactly with all the technology that is out there and what is capable. AI is, I think, like one of the biggest driver to just like get better, right? Because data is just getting more. So being able to understand the data, to leverage the data, to sort the data. So it's also quite an infrastructure game, right? All the integrations, understanding. Combating fraud to just like get better performance. So I think that yeah, will be quite a leap in terms of having more effective advertising campaigns, right? So right now, where it's like still um, sometimes unclear, or how like how well it performs, how incremental something is, yeah, how much waste you have maybe with the budget, to be able to reduce the waste much faster, right, and much clearer, with yeah, just like having a much better tool set with agents, for example, that can always observe like, okay, what how are things going, and is a creative maybe not working so well anymore, and then it's like, or it's being automatically tested against other creatives, and see like if something is being fatigued and can act and react like faster. So we are already like relatively far on automation, but just like with more understanding, better learning, and understanding, you're just like combining the advertisers data points together with MMP data points, and as I said, like CRM, and also like what advertising platforms like us, with the knowledge there, and all of that combined and streamlined, usually should make yeah, the results and the campaigns more scalable, right? So I think that, I mean, that's kind of like under the hood, and we're talking quite performance advertising, because like that's our game, right? To really drive the best performance that's possible with all the inventory that is out there. Yeah, other than that, as I also said, I think it all comes from what the user is doing, right? What the end user, are they using the phones, the smartphones? How do they use them? And how are they engaging with them? And yeah, creating like good use cases. And if I also go then one step back, when we started, and also my pitch was like, okay, we don't know the business models that are actually doable with the phone in the future. This is exactly like you said. You can book a cab, right? You can book, you can get like food delivered very easy and conveniently, which was yeah, nobody thought about it before. And that was like, okay, being open about what business models are coming in the future, and creating those cases, and then supporting yeah, that with effective marketing, as good as possible, is I think, yeah, the constant evolution of the whole industry. And so far, like when looking at at all the numbers, it looks like we are not saturated yet. Yeah, so it's like still growing. It's like still getting more and more, and new use cases are coming up, and the underlying technology also just gets better. So I think like it sounds like fun times ahead.
Yes, absolutely. Very fun times. So we were talking a little bit about the industry itself, and I just wanted to segue a little bit back to Remerge specifically. So, the people listening to this podcast are a combination of, your growth marketers, programmatic managers. We have customers, we have prospects listening. I think historically everyone understands, who we are and our specialty, right? Like, so built re-engagement, specialized in that for, over a decade now. But there's a lot of other exciting things that we're building internally that people, the audience, may not be aware of. Could you talk a little bit about some of the things you're most excited by that we are building internally that maybe the audience may not be aware of yet?
Sure. I think, yeah, when you're looking at the market development and what's possible, I think like specifically what we can point out is, yeah, all the latest developments on iOS and the potential to be able to re-engage users probabilistically, right? So that this technology just got better and better. So even without a clear 100% deterministic match, how it used to be, to run and spend budget effectively. So yeah, that you're able to still get good retention and results for retargeting campaigns on iOS specifically. Yeah, so I think that was a very interesting balance in that sense, where iOS was a bit strict about like, okay, which data is being shared, and now being able to say, okay, good, like if it's fine, if you're not like don't want to do 100% sure deterministic retargeting, but just like have kind of you can think about, okay, if you are on the airport and then you show just ad somewhere for like a nice luxury bag, yeah. So maybe it's not for everybody, but you take it. It's okay if maybe you are like 80% right, correct. That's maybe your target audience. But price wise, it's then still okay in terms of the revenue you are able to generate to just like get retention on that one. That's something you can see on iOS already, and that's like a really big boost, I would say. And the dip you had from 2021 now, which then rises. It's one of the biggest trends I think in the whole industry, where everybody's like really exciting to just like see more activity and more good performance on iOS again. So that's maybe like something which is relevant for almost all advertisers out there, I would say.
Yeah, and certainly
Mm.
one also important component of that is like usually I think people forget the notion that accessing those users actually is far cheaper than you normally would see with deterministic. So like I think that's also something that when we talk to people, at least here in the States, that people generally forget or just are not aware of that kind of competitive advantage that you have there. Pan, I'm obviously conscious of your
Mhm.
time, so just wanted to ask maybe one or two other questions, and then we'll wrap things up with a couple of personal questions, if you don't mind. So we talked
Sure.
about the industry. We talked a little bit about the evolution of Remerge itself. Looking forward, maybe give the audience a little bit better of an understanding of like where you see Remerge in the next maybe 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, so I mean, for us, like we have 5 co-founders, and all 5 are still operationally here. We have our team offsite coming up in 2 weeks, where like every year we bring everybody together. So for us, like strategically, like and also like from a corporate development perspective, one of the key goals and the reason why we founded the company is also to just like be able to create something sustainable, something big, where everybody who's at Remerge has fun and can get exciting to learn from each other and just like evolve with the industry and with all the challenges on a global level. So for us, like we will observe like very closely and be with our customers like as close as possible to just like create new products to help them succeed and in hitting their marketing goals, their growth goals. So like any development that we are seeing there, we are like very on top of that, and also can create more sustainable, like a more long-term bets, where we just like don't go all in maybe on one area. We stay focused, we stay our goal is also to be really good at what we do, right, and not just to do everything all at once, and then it's like kind of okay in all areas like a little bit good, but what we pick, we want to show the excellence and that we can provide, right? That was the idea back then as a app retargeting field as a whole, and now just like continues with all sub elements that you can see there, and be able to to grow our customers. That's like our main goal, and everything out of that just is is this what we can offer to our team and to our shareholders also to grow and to grow the company going forward. So
Awesome. Very good. Very good. Okay. So we're going to wrap things up. And what we like to do typically is just ask a couple personal questions. So kind of rapid fire response. So I have 3 for you. I'll start with tell us and tell the audience your favorite app on your phone currently. What are you using the most?
Stride, I have to say.
I had a feeling
Stride.
that was it.
It's so some people might know I'm a vivid runner. Just came back also from the Boston Marathon, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like I'm this one because I'm running every day, and I use Stride. Yeah, that's like it's a power-based measurement, right? It's maybe a bit overkill, to be honest, right nowadays, but I got it as a present for my wife, I think like 4 years ago, and I'm very happy with that. So yeah, just like all the workouts, measurements, everything what I do there, I do it all like by myself together with my AI companion. Yeah, so I would say also like Claude, ChatGPT, those things, Gemini, I use a lot. But I think like if I would want to do a special shout out, it would be maybe Stride on my first page
All
on
right.
my phone. Yeah.
Shout out to Stride. Okay. Question 2, favorite vacation destination?
I so usually it's between Fuerteventura and the Canary Islands, or Portugal. Got it's Portugal has always like really good food, great weather, and yeah, it's just like perfect. Yeah, Fuerteventura is always like we do that during winter times, because then you have like also there like really nice weather, and we do it so many times with my family that's yeah, that's also like something in my heart, I would say, that I like a lot.
Awesome.
Getting
All
some
right.
rest
Last
sometimes.
one
Yeah.
for you. Favorite meal? If there's one thing you could eat every single day, what would it be?
Um, my favorite meal, I think like it would be pasta with salmon and zucchini, and pepper and like a spicy sauce. This is what I used to do also during my college days, and
Okay.
then and it's still like when I have the chance, if I think about like okay, whatever can I do, and I'm for myself, like that's what I always do, and it's my go-to food. Yeah, so my wife unfortunately doesn't like it maybe so much, because it's a bit too spicy.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my special meal.
You ate well in college. I ate very differently in college. So good for you. Good for you. Well,
Yeah,
listen, Pan, thanks so much for the time. We really enjoyed having you. And I'll see you in a couple weeks for the offsite.
yeah, we do. Correct. Yeah, looking forward. Thanks for the interview, and yeah, curious to see that live then on YouTube very
Yes.
soon.
All right. Take care, Pan. Thank you.
That's a wrap on Apptivate, powered by Remerge, global leaders in helping apps drive growth and retention.